Do you ever feel a constant pull between being creative and quote unquote strategic in order to build your business? I was there for years. And while I do love frameworks and I think they can be super helpful, I always ended up wanting to feel free and do my own creative thing. So today, I am bringing you this episode all about exploring how creativity can actually make you money and how you can adapt your strategy to fit your creative personality. Before we get started today, though, I'm so excited because my upcoming program, Lead Your Launch, is almost here. I'm so happy. Lead Your Launch is a creative field experience where we're going to create a strategy and content for your launch from the same place you created your offer, from a place of fun, creativity, and purpose. That means that you're going to carry your creative momentum throughout your launch without being boxed into a generic one-size-fits-all strategy. You will live with your strategy mapped out, your content plotted using my storytelling framework, and ready to show up as yourself. Ready to finally enjoy the launch process. Go to leadyourlaunch.com to join the waitlist. Your business, your people, they need to see the most creative version of you. I cannot wait to see you there. Welcome to Creator to Leader. Are you struggling to connect with your ideal customers online? Are you confused about the most effective way to market your business? If you're ready to become the go-to expert in your industry and stand out from the crowd, this podcast is for you. Hey, I'm Eugenia. That's Eugenia in Spanish, but you can call me E. My mission is to help entrepreneurs stand out online so that they can grow their businesses. I do this through comprehensive marketing strategies, impactful content plans, and storytelling leadership. We both know you are running on caffeine and big dreams, so let's dive right in. Listen, I spent the first 3 years of my business struggling with this. I kept having these seasons of so much creativity, fun, and vision, and then I had to turn into this almost robot in order to make the sale. Like now, admittedly, it was a self-created prison, but in my defense, all the advice I was seeing online was about frameworks and formulas and just going, doing the thing over and over again. And I enjoy frameworks, don't get me wrong, because I do love school. I appreciate processes and structures. I'm not a person that wants to reinvent the wheel the whole time. I do love learning so much. But when you're a creative entrepreneur or an entrepreneur who is a creative, there's only so much you can take before you feel boxed in. Eventually, you're going to be a rebel in a way. Things are going to start feeling heavy. Like, that is a fact. It's a pull. It's very uncomfortable. Now, if you're struggling specifically with consistency, you need to listen to episode 37 because I go over 4 types of people and the best strategies to approach consistency with your content. But if you're feeling like really the problem is that this is a sophist choice in a way, you have to choose between the strategy and the creativity, this is going to be the episode for you. First, we need to understand that creativity makes money. And I'm going to give you a couple of facts that are I think when I read these facts, I felt free because I was like, heck yes. According to Nielsen, creative is the most significant factor in driving a brand's sales. They found a 47% sales uplift in marketing campaigns with better creatives. And there's another study by McKinsey & Company that found that companies that embrace creativity in their marketing efforts saw 67% higher organic growth rate than those who didn't. And every time I hear the words organic, my ears perk up because in today's marketing world, growing organically is getting trickier and trickier. Meaning most people and most businesses have to pay to play, meaning playing the ads game. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just the reality. So having organic success gets really exciting because that means that your success is being more cost effective and you end up with more profit at the end of the day. So let's talk about definitions, okay? Now that we know and we've established that creativity makes money. And let me tell you, I'm on a definitions kick lately because these 2 words are a bit overused online. And it's all good, right? I'm not Merriam-Webster, no one to judge. English is not even my first language, so you do you, boo. But I do want to make sure we are on the same page, talking about the same thing, which is why I like to start with definitions in so many areas of my life. First, let's look at the concept of strategy. And this is paraphrasing. Strategy is defined as having a plan to reach a goal, but with a lot of thought behind it. It's not just about what you want to do, but how you get there step by step. So it really involves thinking ahead, figuring out the best way to approach a challenge, and adjusting as needed to make sure you succeed. On the other side, creativity is defined as coming up with new ideas or ways of doing things that are original and exciting. And it's when you use your imagination to solve a problem, tell a story, or create something that didn't exist before, whether that's through art or writing or even everyday problem solving and building a business. If you ask me, business is a way of art. And you can go listen to episode 1 when I went over my whole audio essay on this topic, because being an entrepreneur really is such a creative endeavor. And I could go on and on for hours, but it is. You are very creative as an entrepreneur for the most part, especially as an online entrepreneur, I have found. But there's a problem. It gets hard, or it can get hard, to blend strategy with creativity because there are at times conflicting mindsets. First, creativity thrives on being flexible, open, and breaking the mold. Every time I work with clients on their content strategy, I tell them, if you're going to brainstorm or you're going to think of a theme, I need you to be open to whatever idea and not judge the ideas as they're coming, because that way you're going to be able to feel free to think good and bad ideas. You don't judge if they're good or bad. But then strategy, it requires discipline, rules, following a plan. The criteria is a little bit more strict when you're working on strategy. So the free flowing nature of creativity can sometimes feel constrained by the boundaries that strategy sets. Another perception of conflicting mindsets can be the fear of limiting creativity, because entrepreneurs often feel that introducing a strategy will stifle their creative process. They're fearing that too much structure will make their ideas less unique or innovative. Another seemingly conflicted mindset is the unpredictability of creativity, because creative ideas don't always follow a timeline or a formula. I do think we can train our creativity, we can train the muse, as one of my mentors says, but strategy, for the most part, really depends on predictability, timelines, and measurable goals. So this difference can create a friction when trying to blend the two. And the other conflicting mindset is the different skill sets. Strategists and creatives might approach problems with different tools and different perspectives. While strategists are focused on the how and the why, creatives usually focus on the what if and the wow factor. And I remember in my last corporate job, this was a huge problem because they were mostly very strategic and more rigid thinkers. And I was always thinking, why are we doing that? What if we did that? And now I'm working with a client that is a corporate client. I mean, corporate in the sense that it's a bigger company. I'm not working directly with a solopreneur. But the way, it's so funny because you can tell that the founder is an entrepreneur at heart, right? And her DNA is present in every single aspect. So creativity and ideas are always encouraged as long as there's a structure and a process and, we don't create chaos. Like that's also sometimes the downfall of being very creative is the chaos. But as long as we keep order and structure and discipline, creativity is encouraged. So that's hilarious how, the founder's creativity bleeds into everything else that the company does. But I digress. The thing is, there are huge misconceptions around this. Because making money or selling a product while being creative doesn't mean abandoning strategy. It's about using creativity to bring life to the strategy in a way that feels natural, engaging, and unique. So Here are 3 ways someone can blend creativity with selling without rigidly sticking to a strict strategy or a template or to a simple fill in the blanks. First way is implementing storytelling. And I love creating a sales pitch, and I 100% believe in having your sales messaging clarified. But when creating your content, instead of reciting the same script, use your creativity to tell a compelling story about your product, about your service. This could be your brand's origin story, how the product was created, or a customer's success story. Storytelling helps people connect emotionally, and it naturally leads to sales without feeling salesy. And, a little spoiler alert, I'm working on a private podcast on this specific principle, and I cannot wait to bring you the details, but I'm very excited. The second way to be creative and still make money with your content is to create seasonal or theme campaigns. And I know many of you are already doing this by way of your launches, but I want to challenge you to think of your launch like a marketing campaign. Tying your content marketing to a creative and relevant theme can give you a fresh angle that feels natural and exciting, and it's just beyond an announcement. The third way you can be creative and still make money with your content is incorporating principles of humor. And I'm excited because this summer I learned a lot from Emily from Paz de Queso about incorporating humor into my content. And I learned that the biggest misconception I had is that I thought that using humor meant being a stand-up comedian the whole time. So I never wanted or thought about incorporating humor intentionally into my content because I don't consider myself like a funny stand-up, funny type of person, right? But then I learned that while that's definitely a style, the stand-up type of comedian for humor, in reality, to the core, humor simply means bringing moments of levity to your content, to your copy. Moments of levity means bringing lightness and making the message feel more approachable, more human. So levity makes the message more memorable because it's easier to digest and people are more likely to connect to it emotionally. When people connect with something emotionally, they're more prone to buy because they've built trust. Because you laugh, you relax, you listen, and you trust what you're being told. Humor is pretty amazing. So to summarize, the 3 ways you can be creative and still make money with your content, they're not about letting go of your strategy. Remember, everything starts with having your strategy set up and then using your creativity to have fun and play in your playground. First, implement storytelling. Second, create seasonal or theme campaigns. And third, incorporate principles of humor. Now is your turn. Decide which of these strategies you want to focus on. What I love about implementing this creativity into your content is that you can use it to enhance your strategy. Instead of feeling like you have to throw the baby out with the bathwater, every time you feel boxed in by a framework, you're like, I'm done, this doesn't work, I need something new. With creativity, you can still take that framework and enhance it with one of these tips: storytelling, theme campaigns, or humor. Try it out and let me know in my Instagram how it goes. As always, my links are in the show notes. And remember, if you want to have first access and the best pricing for Lead Your Launch, sign up for the waitlist at leadyourlaunch.com. See you soon, my love. Un beso. I hope you loved this episode. If you connected with the podcast in some way, please rate it and review it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That is the #1 way you can support the show. And because sharing is caring, share it with a fellow entrepreneur wanting to become a leader, not just a creator. I am so grateful for you. I'd love to hear from you. Shoot me a DM over to @eugenia.woo. That's @EUGENIA.WOO. And if you only send me a microphone emoji, I will know that you stayed till the end. Thank you for listening. See you soon.